Now we are going to talk about the Keyframe tools. I think it's the most powerful tools in this plugin. We designed some stuff that's just not possible in Unreal right now natively. So let's see what they do. I prepared for us like a really good demonstration. So right now we have a lot of keyframes going on with this light, right? So let's say we want to make this flashing animation. Okay, so let's start with the Keyframe Offsetter. So let's say we want this animation to start 30 frames later than the start, okay? Like I want to move this thing 30 frames. So right now I need to drag and like really guess and then put, it's annoying. Basically you can in one click just move them, okay? And that's really comfortable. You can also put here custom values, whatever you want. And you can also change it to time values, which is also really cool, which basically right now, because we are on 30 FPS, it will be 1 second. So that's about the offsetter. Another cool thing about the offsetter that you can also do it for an animation block, so any block. So let's say we want to modify this animation block, okay? We want to move it a little bit. When I will press animation block, and for example, we want to move it 10 frames backward, I will just press like that, and we're moving our animation. So it's really powerful tool. I really love it. And that's it for the Keyframe Offsetter. So now we are going to talk about the Keyframe Relative Offset Aligner. What it basically means, it's really simple. It's either stretch or shrink your keyframe, okay? What it means. So right now, the light flickering in a specific rate, right? The distance between each keyframe in this case is 4 frames. If now I will select those 3 keyframes, and I will choose here the direction to be center, and I will divide it by 2, what will happen is that we are going to take these 4 space frames between each one and divide it by 2. So the moment I will hit here divide by 2, we will have 2 frames between each one. Let's see it. Okay. So let's for example take now those 2, and let's say we want this shrink or extend to happen from a different perspective. So right now it's in the center. It means it takes from this point and shrink it from both sides. But if I want to shrink it relatively to this keyframe, I will choose here the direction to the left. And now if I divide by 2, they will come closer to this keyframe. So let's say we want to make this flickering faster. Now what we're going to do is just select all keyframes, select the direction to the left, okay, because we want it from the start, and divide by 2. So now the flickering will be much faster. Let's say we don't like it. Let's return it to 2. And let's say we want it bigger, okay? We want like the flickering to be much more smooth and long. So I can divide, for example, by 4. So now you can see how you can save tons of time, because you can do it also with animations, with characters, with anything. Let's see example. Okay, so I have here a few keyframes. Let's see what's going on here. So she's turning her head, okay? Now I feel that this turn is a little bit too fast, okay? I want to smooth out only this part. So I will select it. I will go to my plugin, and I will multiply maybe by 1.5. Yeah, and now it's much more smooth. Now maybe we can take all of that and even now like multiply it actually by 1.25. Yeah. So now everything much more smooth. Okay, so this is how you can also do it on characters. Okay, so now we are going to talk about the Keyframe Multiplier. Basically, I designed this tool because I had a lot of motion capture animations, usually face animations, that the jaw and the face expressions were too extreme, okay? Sometimes the sensors and stuff, they just get crazy. So I prepared here like example, okay? Let's say you have like animation and the timing is okay, but you just, like the values are too extreme. Like it's going too much to the right here and too much to the left. What is actually mean in the keyframes? Here the value is too much in the negative side, okay, 83, and here it's like 67. So what we want in theory is to go here and divide it by 2 probably, and here also divided by 2, and that will basically make it more smooth, right? Like now it will be a little bit smaller. We basically multiplied it by -2. So let's see how the plugin just do it by itself. So I can just select those values, go here to the Keyframe Multiplier, And basically, you can put your negative value, but I made it more simple. I will just multiply it by half. So now, as you can see, I don't know if you saw here. Let me show you again. So the value was 83 negative. I multiplied by half. Now it's 41.5. But all the other values changed also. Okay, here now it's 35. And now she will turn her head a little bit in smaller portion. And we can keep doing it, okay, if we want even a little bit smaller change. So I don't need to adjust every keyframe separately now. I don't need to break all my animations. You can just do it now in one click, and it's really cool. Let's see another example with the light, okay? So we have here a flickering light. Wait, we did it in the other tutorial. Let me shrink it. Okay, great. So the light is flickering, but let's say we wanted to be more strong when it's highlighted and more low intensity when it's off, okay? I will choose all those keyframes. And basically, if I will multiply it by 2, it will multiply by 2 all the keyframes values. Okay? And I can keep doing it. And it just make it more extreme. So that's really easy way to control all the keyframes there without breaking my animation again. And of course, you can do also the opposite and just make it much more delicate. So that's the Keyframe Multiplier. I really love this tool. I'm using it tons of times already. And thank you for listening.